my gosh, did I really buy a Sony A7 IV and the Tamron 35 to 150? Let's talk about it and some other film cameras over the next couple of minutes. Slow zoom. If you want some free presets, you can go get the free presets. They're in the description below. And the presets, they will make your images, it's too close now. They'll make your images better and more cohesive across the entire day that you're taking the photos. So go get them, they're free. Oh no, it's peas. What's up everyone? Shitty Andrew Callahan here. Welcome to the show called You Are My Sunshine. Let's interview some cameras. What's on your mind? Let's start with the bombshell. Holy crap, is that a Sony A7 IV? Nope, it's an A7 IV. And the most exciting lens. I feel like there's no contrast between my shirt and the camera. And the most exciting lens of all time, the Tamron 35mm to 150mm f2 to f2.8 that only comes for E-mount. I'm gonna be testing this out at a wedding because this does seem like the all-in-one wedding lens. You can do it all. The downside is it's already quite heavy and I've only been holding it for 9 seconds. This is a strawberry sparkling water. I've already made a video on the Canon R3 and R6 this month. If you haven't seen that, here's the thumbnail. Now on to the oddball cameras that'll eventually be in videos, but aren't in any videos yet. First up, Sony A7 IV. Already talked about that. Second up, this paper camera. There's no glass viewfinder. You just look through the paper cutout, and you take the pictures. On the back here, you have a slider from color to black and white to weird warm sepia-ish to blue. And this camera is a lot of fun. Get this front button. It takes the picture here. Listen to the shutter noise. Also, it just runs on batteries. Uh-oh. I put it in an infinite loop of taking pictures. This isn't good. This camera is a lot of fun. It obviously fits completely into your pocket and it gives you JPEGs. You don't think about it, there's no LCD to review your images. You're having a fun time with the other person that you're with or the other people that you're with. And you take a picture. And next up, we're gonna talk about this camera. As you can see, this is clearly a terrible drawing of a camera. This represents Marshall's Samurai that he brought to Banff with us. It is a half-frame film camera that you load vertically, and it is a heck of a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun with this camera. It's like a camcorder. I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting, but the images are pretty nice. We loaded Lomo 800 into this. Maybe one tip, if you are using a half-frame 35mm camera, maybe go with something of a lower ISO because the grain gets really, unless you want grain, but the grain gets very, very pronounced when you half frame and you make a full image out of a half frame of 35. So maybe do something like a 400. Next up, I have nothing to show you from this yet, but this is a Kodak H35 Ektar. And it's again a half frame camera, vertical this time. So when you're taking the photos, it's a vertical frame. I tried to drop film off a downtown camera in Toronto today, and they were so busy. The film resurgence is real, and that's why everything is so expensive now. But they were much over capacity. Usually they do next day service. Now they're looking at like 2 to 3 weeks. I think August 3rd or 4th was the time that it was quoting me to actually get my film developed. So you'll see that from Saturday from not downtown camera, unfortunately this time, though I do recommend them. I also recommend Richard Photo Lab. If you're in the United States of America, you can just ship your film there. It's really easy. Up here in Canada, it's a little bit of a challenge sometimes, but that's life. Contax T3, back from the dead. Douglas Banks out in the Ottawa area in Canada. I sent this to him, or BJ Photo, our local camera shop here, sent this to him. And I don't know what he did, but it was a $70 fix. So I tried, I wanted to use this WPPI in Las Vegas this year, went to load film in it. It just kept spinning and it wouldn't actually take up any film. And he fixed that, and now it is my favorite point and shoot of all time. I will say that I bought all of my film cameras with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 that I bought last year, including this that we'll talk about in a minute. But everything I bought pretty much in 2012, 2013, 2014. So I've been seeing massive returns thanks to the Kardashian/Jenners on this Contax T3. And this has absolutely taken some of my favorite images that I've ever taken in my lifetime. Next up, trying real hard to sell John Branch on one of these. Not this one. This one's awesome though. This is the Fujifilm GA645. This is the regular. I also have the W. You've seen the W featured a lot on the channel. However, if you want to be photographing people, I would recommend you get the regular version. The zoom version is also pretty nice. I find that this prime version is, I don't know, it just has a better feeling to the images. Again, it's very difficult to compare because you're never really comparing one-to-one, but images that I have received off of this, I absolutely love. Images from the 645W, I've also absolutely loved. The Z, the zoom, they're good, but they're not this. So I shot a few rolls of this with, I guess I have another camera that I don't even have here. The Facebook Ray-Ban glasses. The first ones I bought broke, but this is footage from them. And I went out the other night and I shot some Kodak Gold with this guy here. And I used the glasses, so that'll be a video coming up on the channel at some point in the future. Nothing to show you from that now because I just shot the film off about 2 hours ago. Now moving into some film. This is the CineStill 400D. 400, I assume, stands for dynamite. These images are dynamite. The 120 has just begun to exist and it arrived in my mailbox earlier this week. I haven't really had a reason to shoot it yet. And then this 400D I've been using as a general film for the past couple of weeks. And I have really been enjoying the results from it. It definitely has a look to it. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a wedding photography look, so maybe don't stick to the Portra 400, the tried and true for weddings or whatever you prefer. You can prefer whatever you want. But I will be testing this out at some point and doing a video on that. Next up, camera. Oh, they're still filming this. I brought this to the Montreal Grand Prix last month. And again, 400D in this, and I really, really had a good time. The downside is that the button here is no longer functioning. So this camera, I don't know, you can modify it. There's an exposure comp at the front here. You can move up and down. But overall, I think this camera is kind of on its last legs. It is the Fujifilm Klasse S, and it's a 35. It's a really, really great camera. But now that I have my Contax T3 back from the dead, I don't know. I feel like they're both they're very, very similar as far as what I use them for. The benefit of this is that the exposure comp on the front, when you're shooting Portra 400 specifically, and you want to go up a stop or two for the entire roll, you can do that very easily. Here, I guess you can also, but you don't get to do it in such a fun way. In the last camera that I've been shooting, this is the Nikon FM3a, and this is in what appears to be an emerald green, and it is absolutely terrible looking, but very, very fun to shoot. I would say as far as SLRs go, this is probably one of my favorites. I used to have the one that was not a disgusting green color, it was just a regular color, and I sold it because I didn't use it enough, and then I really did miss it. So that's why I repurchased this last year. And one of the reasons I love it is one, because it obviously takes all your, even Nikon F-mount glass, but two, this 50, this little pancake that exists, is one of my favorite Nikon lenses ever. It's a manual focus lens. It takes some really good photos, and the images that you're seeing on the screen are from 400D. So those are in fact the cameras that I've been using for the past couple of weeks. You're gonna see lots of videos. This is gonna be for the wedding on Saturday. If you're interested, go get that free preset pack. It is for you. Keep things consistent across the board. And all the presets for the most part are designed to make sure that your images are cohesive across the entire gallery and also within all times of the day as well. So the image is shot in incandescent light after dark. Should mesh nicely with the ones that are the backlit sunset photos, and using one preset kind of does that. That's all for me today. And always remember, you are my sunshine.